All right, what is up, guys? As you can see, we're in a different background. Right now, we are on vacation with my family, so um, we had to bring the setup. We have our monitor over to our right here. We got our laptop, but a little bit wonky. I always hate trading when I'm out of town and on vacation. It always makes things a little bit weird. And real quick, the reason I didn't go live, one, on vacation, so it's just a little bit hectic, but um, I'm gonna be honest, dude. The live stream kind of messed up my YouTube watch, like recommended and stuff. And then the video I posted the day after, like, just kind of tanked. So I think the reason was because I posted a video the same day I went live. So I'm gonna just post the next few days with no live to see if if my views kind of come back the way they were before, because I like going live and it was a great time, but I don't want it to mess up the growth on the channel because we've been doing really good. So I hope you guys can forgive that. And if I notice that the live streams are what caused my views to dip, I will start going live on Discord probably twice a week, because it was really hard to go live anyways. Like, it was hard to just sit there and talk the whole time, and keep the energy. But I do want to go live and do something like that. So I'll maybe start a Discord. A lot of people have been talking about that. So I'll probably start a free Discord and go live there once or twice a week, if I don't start going live on YouTube. So I'll let you guys know. But yeah, the view count just dropped a lot. The live stream did well; it started getting views, but I think they were competing in the recommended. But that is enough of that. We're gonna go into the day, and oh yeah, since we're out of town, we don't have our jar. I look terrible, bro. I just woke up. It's a different time zone, but yeah. But with that being said, we hit 750 subscribers, which again, that's another quarter. If you don't know, every 250 subscribers, we're adding a quarter to the jar. So that would be another quarter. Again, I don't have them on me. I'm not at home, but we'll get that sorted on Wednesday or Thursday. Thursday. But anyways, we go into the day. We took two trades actually, and if you guys know, I'm trying to do one trade per day, and we'll get into why I took two, because it was a little bit hectic of a morning. I'm still getting used to Top Step X. But yeah, so going into the day, if anyone's looking at where the charts are at, very, very weird, right? And we'll go over kind of what I did and what I think I could do better, and what I could have saw to have a better bias today. But on the 4 hour, I mean, we had the big sell-off. We were in this 4 hour fair value gap to bearish. But we had also just swept this low, and I do believe that this low here is very key for the higher time frame bias, which is why I think we're pumping, even though, it's not hard to predict that we're pumping when we're at all-time highs. So we swept this high again on Friday, the other day, which led to this expansion move, and we're holding this 4 hour bullish fair value gap. So this is something that I wanted to take into consideration for the objective of the day, was that we swept liquidity, we swept sell side, a major sell side with a massive sell-off. We displaced with a 4 hour fair value gap, and we ticked it and we're holding the fair value gap very well. We're respecting that well. Then you get the zoom in on the 15-minute overnight. We came into the fair value gap. We slow climbed out, and we also create a 4 hour fair value gap inside of here on the smaller time frame. It's a little bit crammed, but I'll just because this comes into importance. But on the 5-minute, we had I was looking at different areas that could be a good spot to reject, and I noticed these relative equal lows and this 5-minute fair value gap right here as a potential spot that maybe price would want to reject. And as you see, we come down and we sweep that low, and we have a nice reaction outside of there. Let me see something, but yeah. So man, dude, I look kind of cooked right now. I'm not gonna lie, but it is what it is. So anyways, yeah, that's part of the bias. So we're feeding all this stuff in. Again, 1 hour. Again, obviously this is hindsight, but find this bullish bias. We swept sell side. That's bullish confluence. We have a 4 hour bullish. Again, bullish. We're all-time highs, right? The reason I don't really care about this 4 hour fair value gap as much as I should is because we have this that we're respecting. We have this high. And then we also have just this 5-minute gap here with this liquidity, with this 4-hour bullish fair value gap. So that's kind of where my bias is at for the morning. I'm kind of like, okay, cool. I'll take what I can get. I'll see what happens. Because if we start selling off, you know, we could hit this low. We could go lower. We are in this big 15-minute. We were at this 15-minute. So we could reject from there. But we needed to see some structure because on the higher time frame, we were displacing and going higher, right? On the higher time frame, this is a sweep of liquidity. This is sweep of liquidity. We reswept here. We took the low. And I wonder if we had an SMT there on the 15-minute. This is the ES chart. I believe we did 12. So here, where's that order block? We swept this low. That's a 12 o'clock low. 12 o'clock, and then we had the low at 54. So we had an SMT here. Bullish SMT. We swept the low here. We swept this low, and we didn't on ES. So that's another bullish confluence that we could have looked at. Again, this is just nitpicking, but this is why the day expanded. So then we dropped down to the actual time frame. Market opened around here. We did nothing. We come up. We take this high, and the first trade I would have actually liked to take, which I could have had for the day. We swept this high, and then on the 2-minute, we end up inversing this fair value gap. Oh, shoot. We end up inversing. If I can get it, there we go. Inversing this fair value gap here. So that would have been the entry here. You would enter shorts here, stop, close back below, above. You come down and you'd taken some off at this low, and then you could have taken some off at this 5-minute low, which would have been a nice trade. I wish that was my one trade of the day, even though the trade I took was good, because you have a nice little liquidity sweep, instantly inverse, and it worked out. It's a good trade. It worked. I do have to say that the first trade that I did take, though, looking back, was a little bit bad. I took an inverse on this gap here, and if anyone knows the rules on inverse fair value gaps, it wasn't a singular gap, right? It was 2 gaps, but I kind of just turned a blind eye and counted them as 1 when we closed below. The only reason I didn't lose on this trade is because I accidentally am getting used to TopStep X, which is this platform you guys are seeing. And when I switched through micro and full contract, it completely changes everything. So I like to look at the normal NQ chart, because the normal NQ chart has different levels. Sometimes it can kind of affect you. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to just sit here on the micro chart, because sometimes you sweep a high on the micros and you didn't on the full contract. And I want to trade off the real contract that people are actually trading with big money, because I'm trying to trade after big money. I'm not trying to trade after micros, scalpers. So I was on the full contract chart, and normally I'm used to the DOM over here being where I have the micros. I can click on tabs and search, flip through micros, full contract, stuff like that. And that just wasn't the case, and I'm not used to it. So I went down here, and I went up 5 contracts, and I pushed sell. And then that's when I noticed my mistake. I realized I was in 5 full contracts. It came down, and it came back up, and I closed for a small loss because I wasn't trying to be in that trade. So because of that, because I was flustered, made a mistake, I just was like, you know what, I'm not even going to count that as a trade. Maybe I should have, maybe I shouldn't have. I'm trying to stick to one trade a day. You guys know that. That was the first trade, and I should have taken it. Or I should maybe just stop because I made a mistake, right? But I kind of just treated it as no trade because it was just kind of unfortunate. And then I noticed we inversed this fair value gap, which I actually liked better because I got the reevaluate, right? I was bullish on the higher time frame. We bounced out of this 5-minute. We even remanipulated, right? So I'll zoom in here. We actually manipulate this low again. If you notice, we're holding a 4-hour, which I'll get rid of. This 4 hours is what I just got rid of. We swept the liquidity here. We re-sweep some liquidity over here on the 5-minute and bounce. We also come down and re-sweep the low of day. So we take it out in this candle here and take this out and instantly get bought up here. And we hold this order block. So this order block is because a down close candle before a move up. A down close candle to sweep liquidity before a big move up. So we come down here, we hold the order block, and we inverse on the 1 minute here. I jumped in around here somewhere. I don't have the live video because, again, this isn't my setup, so this isn't my monitor that I'm using. This is the one this is a different monitor that I'm not used to using. Couldn't figure out OBS for my life of me. I don't know why I have such a hard time with OBS, but I couldn't get it. So I don't have the trade recording. I apologize. Normally I do. I normally have every execution. But I got in, it was filled me somewhere around here. We put in equal highs. My stop loss was then at these lows. Equal highs would give me confidence, but notice on this 1 minute, we had a 1 minute bullish and an inverse fair value gap that we were respecting both. And at this point, I was like thinking for sure I was going to get stopped out when the tail came down to here. But I held through it, and then when this closed here, and then we got another candle in here, it was really good. I was really confident. The best possible entry would have been this 30-second fair value gap here. We inversed this gap here, right here. This would have been the best possible entry. We had equal highs above. We were holding a BPR and a 1 minute bullish and an inverse. We were holding an order block. We were holding a lot of stuff. We'd swept the low, all of that good stuff. I would definitely look at that and learn from that. And then I ended up holding to this high, which I'm very happy about because I held my trade very, very, very good. I was scared when it was coming through the drawdown. I got in around here and it just went sideways or negative or slightly break even for a while. Came down. We held this gap very, very nicely. Inversed, which was probably another, that could have been you could have added contracts, but I wasn't going to do that because I have a set risk. You could have added contracts though because it closed back below, so I could have added some more and just have my close here like 10 points. But again, that's not something I'm trying to concern myself with. Dude, I apologize for how we look today, dude. We look brutal, but yeah, so we close back above and then we run to this high. So that was a nice, around 35 point trade that I took. I should have left a runner hindsight, because we would have eventually taken this out. So I kind of cut my runner short. We would never got stopped at break even. And we would have hit a runner for 74 points extra. So that would have been another, on 2 contracts I could have left. That would have been another lot of money, man. A lot of money. But it is what it is, bro. We can't worry about that. We'll go to the account real quick. The show, we have 50,427. We made 340 on the day. A nice chunk. Again, if you guys remember my last eval, I didn't make anywhere near that. But I am risking more on this account. I'm risking 400 per trade maximum. And that's kind of where I'm going to stay at and just see one trade a day. If I risk 400, it means I'm either going to make 400 or more, and I can't lose more than 400. So I'm going to try a new risk structure, and you guys are seeing how it's going to go. So, yeah, that's kind of how I read the market today. Again, I got lucky that I was in a big size because I got out of this bad trade quick, and then was able to find a winner because I, didn't just stick to one trade because I didn't really count it. But I really am trying to figure out, why the setup didn't work that well. Again, it looks good. We're holding a bigger time frame fair value gap, or we're holding a 1 minute fair value gap. We inverse, but I think it's just overall, I needed to be bullish on this day. And unless if we displaced through this low and was making bigger time frame, like 15-minute, 5-minute bearish fair value gaps, the objective was taken down to the low side, right? We swept the high and we take the low. So now we don't need to take the low. I need to be proven that it needs to prove to me that with price structure that we're going to keep going lower, if that makes sense. So I think the trade isn't terrible to the downside, but I just think it's a little bit hindsight, a little bit forced. But yeah, so that was kind of the day here. I would say, too, one thing I want you guys to start learning is that when the objective, which is, I would say the objective for the day is this high right here. Once this gets taken, if I didn't have a trade, if I did take trades, after this gets taken, I'm instantly clocking out for the day. There's nothing for me to do because there's no reason for me to take a trade at this point, right? Because that's the objective, right? If you're bullish, this is where you're targeting, right? Maybe if you target on higher time frames and you take bigger time frame trades, maybe you target all-time highs. We have an S&T with ES because ES already has taken out all-time highs. So I don't know if that's even a valid idea, but regardless, if you trade intraday, this is your objective. If you're bullish, this is your objective. there really isn't any more trade because now you swept liquidity. This is where you wanted price to go. If you were bullish down here, this is where you want price to go. There's no reason for it to go higher or lower. This is your target, right? Because you're here and you want to be bullish. Why are you bullish? You're hunting liquidity or an imbalance. You're hunting liquidity here. So if you're hunting liquidity because you're bullish, once that liquidity gets taken, why would you keep trading? And I think that's a mistake a lot of people make. That's a mistake that I used to make, and I used to because I would overtrade and want to just find trades, and I couldn't just not trade some days. But finding these types of setups and being able to realize, like, oh my gosh, the objective was taken. I was bullish. We took out the bullish liquidity. That's it. The market did its job. I don't have any other ideas. It's gonna be low probability because it doesn't have to go anywhere. Because I already took out the objective. So start looking for that in your trading. If you find that you take a lot of losses and your bias starts failing, try and figure out, okay, was the objective for the day taken? And if it was, a lot of times you might take extra losses that you shouldn't take because you probably shouldn't be in the trade anyways, if that makes sense. But yeah, so since I'm on vacation right now, that's my review for the day. I'm excited for tomorrow. I hope it's a little bit better. Mondays are always a little bit tricky, I believe. But I hope you guys had a good day as well. And again, I apologize about the live streams, but I really do want to keep growing this channel to reach more people. So I think if the live streams have an adverse effect, then there's no real point to do it. But again, I'll experiment kind of the next few days with my videos, see if I can get back on track with the view count, see if this video does well. And then if it does, then maybe we'll do one live once a week on Fridays. And if not, we'll just go live on like a Discord, and we'll have a free Discord for people to watch me go live once or twice a week. So again, hope you guys had a great day. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna go hit the beach. I appreciate everyone that's been watching this video. Thank you guys for 750 plus subscribers. We're on that way to 1,000. So again, hopefully the view count comes up on this video today, and hopefully it does well. Because yeah, I'm just not sure, and it gets addicting to see the numbers go up. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.